more 4-minute one? Like, what if you just leave this one?
All right.
Hello, good morning, how are you? Today our proposition is going to be that homeschooling should be prohibited for minors in California. I'm in the first affirmative side. Today I'm going to be discussing pretty much the effects on that homeschooling causes, not only, well, my first point will be, the long-term effects that it can have on the actual children themselves, and then the effects that it can have on the parents that are staying home and homeschooling their children, and then pretty much why public schooling has more advantages than the actual homeschooling. Homeschooling has become very popular since 2000. The biggest increase was between 1999 and 2007, and throughout the years it has increased by 20% every year. It has become something that parents have chosen to do. Before, we think it was just for moral beliefs or religious reasons, but a lot of them are doing it also for they believe that our school system, our public school system, is not as good or as effective as they could be. So they feel that they themselves can cover or teach their children better. As far as long-term effects that it can have on the children, after continuous years of being taught by their parents, or if it's chosen to have a tutor instead of the parent, what the children can get is an excessive dependence on their tutors or their parents, and throughout time, they can make it a little more difficult for them to handle certain situations or figure out problem solving or other things on their own, because they are so dependent and on their parents or whoever's teaching them. So this can lead them to not be able to handle situations. Also, due to the children receiving all the attention, parents can also or the tutors can accustom them to a slower learning system. Since they are the only person that is being taught at the moment, they are the ones that they can pace themselves to the child's however fast the child learns. This can lead them to later on, if they are ever to be put out into a public system, if they're not going to be doing the homeschooling anymore, it can leave them a little behind. Since they're not really competing or not being rushed with anybody, it could be left behind. Also, although children are exposed to neighbors and they can have siblings, and homeschooling does require you to go on certain field trips and have other activities within the homeschooling, it's not the same as a child that goes to a public school and actually gets to form a clique of friends and a circle of friends. It's different to bond with someone for a couple of hours playing outside, opposed to being with a classroom full of children for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. So this can limit them to interaction with other children, and sometimes they might not even get much at all, depending on how the seclusion and separation can weaken their confidence and level and ability to interact or befriend others outside. In some cases, leading them to a disconnected or lonely adulthood. Now I want to focus on the effects that this can have on the parents. Every child is different, and all of them learn at different pace or different types of learners. This can leave the parents to, struggle with trying to figure out what kind of curriculum they should, or what curriculum would be good for their children to to learn off of. I mean, this can be pretty challenging. I mean, what if they're not able to figure out one that is working for them, or effective. I mean, they need to purchase these curriculums or get them somewhere. I mean, this can be pretty cost effective. Also, after spending all day, with your child, usually parents, also need a break as well as the children. Since it could be hard for the child and the parent to separate the parent and relationship opposed to being a student. So it could be hard for them to sometimes get their full control or attention. So and it's easy for them to be distracted, especially in their own home. Also, homeschooling requires a full-time parent to stay at home while the other one goes to school. This can, lead them. It can be kind of expensive for a child to be homeschooled. It can range anywhere from $300 to $3,200 a year per child. And if it's only one parent handling everything, that could be pretty hard on them. Another thing is my other point is the public school system has more advantages. I mean, simply because some of the parents are not educated or do not have the credentials in educating a child. So obviously it'd probably be better to have someone that has gone to school and is more experienced with this kind of with teaching children. And they can, be surrounded by more people, around their age.